Good evening, everyone. Thank you for mingling and talking to other members that are here. If we could all grab a seat, we're going to get started. Yeah. And then for staff, can you monitor the volume outside? Because I don't think they know it's kind of loud out there. So just a reminder that we can hear them inside. Thank you. Thank you, Rich. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Bronx stop of the New York State Black Task Force listening tour. $30 million is the conversation. Uh, Anytime we're talking about money, I'm excited to have that conversation, especially here in the Bronx, which I heard my district is the poorest congressional district. So we should probably take home most of it, right? Yes, Queens? Queens, should the Bronx take home most of it? Okay. Queens doesn't believe the Bronx should get most of it. And I'm just making light of a real important conversation. I would love for my colleagues on the stage to introduce themselves, and we're going to pretty much dive into this listening tour. And I'm going to start all the way to my left.
Good evening. I'm Assemblywoman Alicia Hyman, Chair of the Higher Education Committee, and I hail from the magnificent borough of Queens.
Oh, I'm District 49, Southeast Queens.
There you go. Southeast Queens in the house. I am Assemblymember Anderson, and I represent the 31st Assembly District in Southeast Queens. Oh, and I'm the Secretary of the Black Legislative Task Force. Thank you so much, True.
Okay, I'm Assemblymember Chantel Jackson. I have the privilege of chairing the New York State Black Legislative Task Force. I represent the Second District in the South Bronx, South Bronx. We don't know whose district we're in, so I'm sure somebody from the audience will be able to tell us.
Good evening. I'm Assemblymember Landon Days. I represent the 77th District of the Southwest Bronx. Newer member of the Black Task Force. And before I give it to RJ, I just want to say, want to give our flowers to our chairwoman, Chantel Jackson. She really was the spear tip that really got this through. She really went the math. Not the Black Task Force, it was a team effort. But she truly deserves her flowers, because when I tell you she cares about our community, she's truly a warrior.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you 110%. I'm State Senator Robert Jackson. I represent the 31st Senatorial District. And you may say, well, where is that at?
Right here. Right here.
Yeah, that's all of Washington Heights, Inwood, Marble Hill, and 1/3 of my district is in the Northwest Bronx. So if you've come across the 181st Street Bridge from Manhattan to the Bronx, or the which one? The 207th Street Bridge, or the 225th Street Bridge, all of that's in my district. Now, about 339,000 people. I haven't gotten around to see all the places yet, but that's what I represent.
And this building.
Oh, and this building with who's the assembly member? Okay, well, before this night is over, someone will tell us who the assembly member is for this district. We are at Lehman College, and we want to say thank you to the president and all of the staff. Oh, George Alvarez. Okay. George Alvarez is the member that represents Lehman College. But we want to say thank you to Lehman College, the president, and all the staff, and everyone here at the theater for giving us this space to have this really important conversation. I want to also thank our members who could not be here with us, Amanda Septimo, Senator Bailey, our speaker, Carl Hasty. And I just have to tell you guys this. Landon and RJ want to give me my flowers, but the truth is we owe the flowers all to our speaker, Carl Hasty, because he was the absolute push to make sure that this task force received that $30 million. So I want to say thank you to my speaker. Thank you to the majority leader, Andrea Stewart-Cousins, and thank you to our governor for also making this happen. So when you see them, you can clap, that's fine. When you see them, just say thank you. Hey, thank you for that $30 million. We appreciate you. And so before we go further, I have to say that the person who's been pulling this all together, because this is stop number 7 on our stop of listening tours, and we have 6 to go. The person pulling it all together is our executive director, Josiah Williams, who's over there. Hey, Madam Nestia. Dorothy is the one fielding all of your emails and phone calls, the one who is updating the social media handles and all of those things. That's her. She's doing all the behind the scenes stuff. And it would help her if she can stay connected with you all, which is why we asked you all to register. So if you haven't done so, there's a QR code outside, so make sure you still register. And the last ask I have before we move on is to everyone has a smartphone, so I know you're gonna put it on silent, but I also need you to follow us on Instagram, and I'm gonna get this right, Tosia, at NYSBL Task Force. That is our Instagram, NYSBL Task Force. She's shaking her head, so I got her right. Follow us on there because we'll be updating you guys on when the application comes out, any changes that have happened, and all of the such. Yes, we agree? Yes. All right. And we're also, that's the same hashtag for Twitter, which y'all call X. And what else? And Facebook? We have Facebook? Oh, we don't have Facebook. And what? Instagram and TikTok. Okay, perfect. Um, so we got that out the way. This is an absolute listening tour. We gave you all a document that you had time to read over and look over. This is when I tell you how this light is going to go. You can utilize either one of these mics. You step up. You have 2. You have 3 minutes. Oh, she's being nice today. You have 3 minutes to ask the question or to make a suggestion, any suggestions. And we get 2 minutes to respond. Oh, see, I got it right. So 3 minutes to ask and make a statement. We get 2 minutes to respond. That way we can hear from everyone. And if you don't get a chance to speak tonight, what are the options, Dorcia?
Then fill out.
Okay, yes.
You can fill out a physical feedback form, which is outside, and we also have a QR code for put up shortly for you to fill out.
And so on the the channel is on Instagram, right? On our link tree. If you go on our Instagram and our link tree, the feedback form is also there. Yes? Okay, so we have a very special guest. She's probably more important than any of us, all the elected officials here. But I'm gonna pass the mic to one of our fiscal conduits. And oh, you both want to sit? We'll grab more seats. Oh, you have a mic? Come on, come on, come on. Good lipstick. I'm going to allow Saida. Is your last name Duncan? Dunstan? Okay, my man. Saida Dunstan from Elf Court to introduce herself. I think you can hold, yeah, just leave it so.
Good evening. My name is Saida Dunster. I am the CEO of Encore Youth and Adult Activities, a nonprofit in Queens, who has also done work in the Bronx, who's done HIV testing and the substance use work also in the Bronx. So happy to be here. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Oh. All right. So you have Saida, you have all the elected officials. I also just want to point out that while the New York State Black Task Force was able to get $30 million in its budget, the Puerto Rican Hispanic Task Force was also able to get $30 million, and our AAPI Task Force will also able to get $30 million. So we all worked really hard to get it done, and we are here now. And the purpose of this listening tour is to hear from you all. What should we be doing with this $30 million? What areas should we be focused on? And if you have any suggestions on how the rollout should happen, we're open to hearing that too. So don't fight each other to get to the mic, but feel free because it is now open.
And Madam Chair, that $90 million was an historic $90 million for minority groups, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Oh, no questions? All right, so we could leave. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Okay. They're making their way.
Making my way to it. Deep dance.
Hi. Wait, I'm sorry. Who's doing time? Oh, Jessie is doing time. Okay, you look back there.
Guy. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ebony Cannon, and I have been a part of Graham Wyndham for almost 7 years. I am proudly born, raised, educated, and Graham grown in the Bronx. At Graham, we are dedicated to helping children, young adults, and families lead successful lives. especially in the face of systemic poverty and structural racism. Our work is intentional and rooted in equity, particularly in how we work with the Black community. Here are a few facts about RAM and our work with the Black community. 76% of all of our families and children in foster care are Black. 50% of our executive council, including our amazing CEO, are Black. And almost 50% of our staff, including myself, are African American. As this task force considers ways to support Black communities, we encourage you to uplift these 3 essential areas. Firstly, foster care. Foster youth are deeply impacted by their time in foster care. In New York City, only 24% of students in foster care graduate high school. Our SLAM program shows what can happen when you provide targeted interventions to youth in foster care, with 81% of foster care youth participating in our program graduating high school on time. As a former SLAM coach, I can speak to how essential it is for foster youth to have another person and support in their lives as they navigate high school, enter college, access apartments, and navigate independence. Secondly, I want to talk about community centers. With the loss of critical federal funding, children and families are increasingly turning to community centers for support. Community centers are more than the activities that they host with these families and children. They are a lifeline to parents like me. We are asking you and urging you to invest in the programming with these centers, especially around education, workforce development, and mental health. Lastly, mental health. Our communities are recovering from COVID, violence, and generational trauma. The Bronx is no exception. Being a Bronx native, I have experienced the difficulty in accessing culturally inclusive care when it comes to healthcare, and trust me, it's 10 times worse if you're trying to look for mental health care. That is why we urge you and say it is essential that we provide culturally responsive and accessible mental health care to those in the Bronx, especially our youth as they transition from childhood to adulthood. Thank you. All done.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brianna Kamahab. I'm the state legislative manager at We Act for Environmental Justice. Actually, know many of you, so good to see you guys tonight. And since 1988, We Act has been serving the Northern Manhattan communities and environmental justice communities across the city, state levels in terms of fighting for fair environmental justice policies for Black and Brown communities. And tonight, we have came to say with a couple of requests that we have a membership of over 1,100 community members that have grown in that decade of advocacy period, many of which participate in our online educational forums and working groups surrounding policy that affects Black and Brown communities and then areas that represent. And additionally, we have about 200 annual participants in our free OSHA and safety certification workforce development trainings. Our programs are 100% free and open to the general public. The majority of our participants and active advocates hailing from Northern Manhattan and the Bronx. Today, I'm here to ask the task force to help support our staff capacity in building a new community environmental justice space dedicated to increase environmental justice education and training. And we are asking for programmatic support to staff our environmental health and justice curriculum. The programmatic support to expand our workforce certification classes to more folks in Northern Manhattan to the Bronx, and funding a pathway for high students to potentially intern with you all at Albany, so that we're building that education piece in for the future generations. Thank you.
Arja has a question.
I'm just asking, especially the first person that went and talked about rock shelters for young people. Are you asking for a certain amount of money and for We Act, or to run the program that you that you, meaning we act as is supporting and want to expand, or you ask for a certain amount of that $30 million? So that's what my question is.
Yeah, we are.
You were 30, almost 30 million, right?
They very updated. Honestly speaking, though I personally don't have an exact amount that I would be requesting, I am hoping that we can provide at least a mil to a lot of the programs that are vulnerable. I know there are thousands of community center programs and hundreds of nonprofits like Graham that are provider programs, and their funding is very limited. As a community center director myself, I know that I have state contracts that don't allow me to do what I need to do. So really, honestly, any additional money to that money would be helpful for my program. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, and tonight I can't say I has a direct number, but once the application is open, there will be more than enough information with all the numbers, line item, meet all the things that I mentioned tonight in terms of programs. Then you check with our delegate to get all those numbers.
So one thing I do want to add to that is that when the majority of the funding source will be reimbursement. We are trying to figure out a conduit so that we can have some smaller grants, because some organizations can't front that type of cash, right? And that is going up. We're behind us that it will limit some organizations on the higher number, right? But there's other ways to like carve a bank. If you have a contract, they will give you a low interest loan. So we are trying to figure out and troubleshoot how can we make organizations more eligible, right? Because you do have to meet certain standards. The state has very high standards when it comes to what organizations do obtain funding. So we want to make sure that we have that honest conversation so people understand that also. So thank you.
That's helpful. Thank you. Okay. This would be a good time for me to actually do the housekeeping that Dorcia wrote down for me and say funding disclaimer. Participation in the listening tour does not guarantee funding. Participation listening to it does not guarantee funding. So just because you say told us how great you are, that does not guarantee. Even if you come to 6 of the listening sessions, you know what God through there, all right? And you come to 5 listening sessions, it doesn't mean on the 6th one we're saying, all right, we got to make sure this program gets funded. But I'm going to put my senator on the spot so he can introduce himself, and he is here ready to chat with us all. Tell these people who you are, where you're from.
So, hello everybody. I'm late, first of all, so I apologize. One for the black folks, we got Latinos, so we gotta make sure we respect time. But one of the reasons why I am late is because some of you are from childcare organizations. Because the reason why I'm late is because I wait for my wonderful wife, my better 99%, to get home from work so that my 3 kids are being taken care of. So these are things that affect your legislators. It's not just things in the ether. These are things that affect everyday New Yorkers, and I am one of those everyday New Yorkers. So the reason why I'm late is not because I don't see the power and value in this. It is because I am exactly the same as you. So I say that from a lens of gratitude. Let me just say, State Senator Jamal T. Bailey, 36th Senatorial District, Northeast Bronx, in the city of Belver and Wakefield, Williamsbridge, Woodlawn, Co-op City, Pelham Gardens, and Malvern. And I come to this with gratitude for our Madam Chair for the incredible work, that you've done. Assemblywoman Jackson, thank you for steering the ship in the right direction and making sure that we have these resources available. And I want to hear from you about your organizations and the work that you're doing in our communities and why it's so important to make sure that you are consistently supported by government, because the reality is, and what great colleagues the government would tell you, as they probably already have, because I'm late and unable to have to say, is that we work for you. And we are responsible and have to be responsive to you. Now, like a parent, so that means you don't get everything you want just because you want something. But that means that we have to hear you out. And I'm happy to hear you out. And I'm happy to be here and looking forward to a robust discussion learning from you. So hope everybody's well. Thank you for helping out Tower on a Friday.
Period. I think we were here, right? All right, going guys.
Good evening to you all. Great to see you again, Chairwoman Jackson. And I am so grateful to our partners in the space at Grand Wyndham for already addressing some of these topics, and I hope to emphasize the message. My name is Ashley Staggers, and I serve as the director of the Foster Youth Success Alliance at Children's Aid, and I am honored to be here in representation of our 14 sites in the Bronx. As a multi-service agency, our services encompass early childhood education, after-school and summer enrichment programs, youth leadership development, civic engagement, workforce development, family engagement, child welfare, and licensed medical, dental, and mental health care programs and services delivered across 40 sites all throughout the city. Firstly, we'd like to thank the task force for including pots of funding for advocacy, health, and education. At Children's Aid, we see every day how investments in early childhood youth development and community health programs creates the foundation for long-term success. High-quality early childhood programs prepare young people to thrive in school and beyond, closing opportunity gaps before they write it. Youth development programs such as after-school and summer enrichment programs help young people grow into leaders, gain critical skills, and build meaningful connection with peers and mentors. At our community health clinics and school-based health centers, they provide thousands of children with accessible, comprehensive medical, dental, and mental health care directly into their neighborhoods and where they learn, especially as Black communities face growing uncertainty due to the ongoing federal cuts, including the SNAP, Medicaid, and other essential services. Families are increasingly relying on these types of holistic supports. By strengthening these investments, the task force can help ensure that children and families have the tools that they need not only to survive, but to thrive. As mentioned before, Children's Aid also houses the Fostering Youth Success Alliance, which is a statewide advocacy group that promotes responsive policies and programs offering young people with a foster care background every opportunity to set higher expectations and achieve their goals. These young people often face even more hurdles than their peers, particularly in education, both the K through 12 and higher education, health, and housing. Especially during these tough times, it's critical that they have the resources and platforms to lift up their voices, to lead the way forward, and to succeed. To that end, we also encourage the task force to also prioritize funding opportunities that serve Black youth in the foster care system, as well as former foster care youth. Thank you so much for your continued advocacy for our communities, and thank you so much for your time.
Be away. Hello. Good evening. What's you know? Yeah. That's cool. All right. Good evening, everyone. Happy Friday, and thank you for your service as well. My name is Kevin Weems. I am a proud alumni of Dean College, so it's good to be back here. Today, I was just coming to find out more information about the task force and just learn about the different opportunities we had in my community. One of the things that I had a cake for myself is financial education. So one of the programs I would love to see is more programs around financial education, but specifically taxation. I've been teaching taxation for about 10 years now. One thing I realized is all of us in here pays taxes, right? At the age of 16, why are we not taught that? So I look at taxes, I word it as we're being penalized from how we earn. I think a lot of us need to learn, how do we pay taxes, right? How does that go into our businesses, especially as we're looking for funding? How does that actually impact our taxes? How does that income actually affect us? How much do we have to put away? So just looking for more programs where we actually educate those that get those expenses as well.
I just want to briefly respond and say thank you for breaking that up. I'm the chair of the Senate Standing Committee on Insurance. And there are two things I'll add to the insurance to taxes conversation. And there are two things that we all do every single day, every single year, that fundamentally we may not understand and conceptualize. That is taxation and insurance. So I just wanted to thank you for highlighting that, because that is a really important thing that we as people of color should really understand. We're paying into a system and we need to be insured by a system, but we don't understand the system and how or why it works or doesn't work, quite frankly, sometimes. So I just want to thank you for highlighting that. Thank you.
I want to add on to that too, because you're not advocating for an organization as part of this listening tour. You're advocating for money to go into something you're passionate about. So we appreciate that. So I'm on the small business and economic development committees in the assembly. And one thing I care about deeply is MWBEs, right? And some more organizations get hit because they didn't have the proper tax structure. I'm a lawyer also. They don't have the proper corporation structure, LLCs, LLPs, S Corp, C Corp. And so educating our small businesses, because sometimes we saw during COVID, to cut costs, right? They didn't put people a great payroll tax. And then when the COVID money came out, they weren't eligible because they didn't have enough employees to do try to pay people underneath the table, right? So I am all in. I'm all in on financial literacy and business literacy, especially in our community. So thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you, sir. All right, thank you.
Uh-oh, I am extremely there.
So big. This is family. So we love you. Thank you. Support her. But how you saw her? See? Now you good to go.
Fine, thank you. All right, so good evening, everyone. My name is Bernadette Thompson. I am the City Year New York Community School Director at the Hyatt Ridge Green School on the west side of the Bronx. Senior is an educational nonprofit organization that also advances civic engagement and workforce development. Last year, we served over 8,000 students across 21 schools in New York City and Buffalo, and our work aligns closely with the goals of the New York City Black Legislative Task Force, especially a commitment to uplifting underserved communities through the 30 million funding initiative. Our organization is broken up into three brackets. We have education, we have civic engagement, and we also have workforce development. For education, we've placed young people throughout New York City schools, and these young peoples are also known as our success coaches. And while they're placed in our schools throughout New York City, they're providing services to our students in SEL, academics, so that's ELA, math specifically, and attendance. So bridging that gap that they may have in their attendance. And then with our civic engagement, we have a team of success coaches that go throughout the city where they're supporting schools that we may not be able to serve in and beautifying just like communities. So that can mural painting, that can be fixing up libraries, that can be nursing homes, whatever is needed in that specific community. If we have the funds to do so, then that's what we're taking on. And then we have the workforce development. City Year is also a launch pad for young leaders. Our 40,000 alumni are making an impact across sectors, especially in education. According to our 2020 National Alumni Survey, 44% of American members remain in the communities where they serve, contributing to local economy, workforce, and social fabric. So tonight, as you listen to voices across New York State, ask that you imagine what's positive when you invest in our civic engagement. Again, that's not just the business skills that we're able to serve in, but it goes beyond those schools that we're able to serve in, providing more services within our state. Lastly, I kind of want to highlight a personal perspective serving as a community school director in the Bronx. The Bronx is personal for me because I was born and raised. That's it.
How's that? Yeah,
21. Oh, Jesus. My God. Uh, it's personal to me because that's where I was born and raised, and being able to serve home, you all will support that and just support us as we support our families. And just a note, City Year is very familiar with contracts.
Give, could you tell us the name of your group or organizations loud and clear so that we could know who you are from real?
So, City Year, New York, Red Jackets. Yes, the Red Jackets. Thank you, Papa.
And the green schools in my district, so I'm very familiar with it also.
Yes, you said. C'est pas chaud.
Just so that.
Awesome. I just didn't want to talk. Well, good evening, everybody. Happy to be here today. I'm sure, so I was trying to use the stand by myself. I'm Debbie Bromas. I am the managing director for Perscolas New York. So yes, I love to see the nods. So as you may already know, Perscolas is a tech training organization founded and headquartered here in the South Bronx. Our mission is to advance economic equity through rigorous training and job attainment. We offer IT support, cybersecurity, cloud practitioner, software engineering, Salesforce administrator, and next year data analytics. And that is at no cost to our learners. We are currently on track to enroll and train over 1,000 learners this year alone within the 5 boroughs at the physical footprint that we have, including our friends in Buffalo. We do have that state presence as well. Just to give you an example, from 2021 to 2024, we trained 747 BronxNet.
with 72% of increase of Bronx learners since 2021. So that's definitely going on the rise. Of these learners, 25% were women, 47% were immigrant families, and 93% were people of color. These learners also had a graduation rate of 86%, and within 12 months after graduation, our learners, 80% of our learners on average are placed in tech careers that launch in their pathway. This average starting salary wages from these alumni to stand at $22 to $25 an hour, which amounts to about $19 billion in the economic impact across New York City. Employers are looking to fill more than 30,000 jobs. We've all heard about it. With more than half of these positions not requiring a high school diploma or equivalency. And as we celebrate this year, our 30-year of impact, not only here in New York, but across the country, we are poised to deepen our impact across the nation into tech training, means nurturing more talent into careers that have historically increased salaries by 3 times the pre-training wages. Our learners not only acquire crucial technical skills, but 20% of the curriculum focuses on professional development, including interviewing and work culture expectations. So with this, the difference, they get exposed to different industries and companies of various sizes. In such a future-facing and ever-changing sector, we must prioritize technical upskilling so residents can stay competitive in private wages across New York City and beyond. Want to share a personal note? This morning, we just graduated 32 additional learners, Losh and Cyber, and IT support with a 100% certification rate with CompTIA A+, CISA. So they're 13 civic field tech individuals ready to take on and launch their careers in technology. A point to make, we held the graduation with our friends from Apollo Global Management, meaning the connection that we're able to bring and face them and position our participants into corporate engagement opportunities. Es por ese work that we do. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to see. I know you. That.
Right. The Bronx mites. Uh, so just really quickly, and this is just like general, I mean, not just for the last few speakers, but for almost, we'll get up and speaking. There's a few areas in which, or we're not limited to, where we're looking for the issue areas to be funded. So we're looking at housing, economic development, workforce development, health, education, civic engagement, cultural preservation, criminal justice, and nonprofit capacity building. And as the chairwoman explained in the beginning, we want to emphasize the fact that the funds will be distributed to our 5 fiscal conduits. We have Saida here from ELM4. We didn't have our folks from New York Urban League here tonight, United Way, LISC, and the Federal Policy and Welfare Agency. So those fall wanting to be our fiscal conduits, getting these monies out. But again, those are some of the areas that we're looking to target. They're trying to issue areas where the funding we're looking for projects for, where they're looking for projects for, but it's not limited to that. You come outside plans.
Good evening, everyone. Senator Bale, always good to see you. Mine's definitely over 3 minutes, so I'll try to speak fast. Good evening. My name is Brandon Lloyd, and I'm the Director of Government Affairs at the Urban Resource Institute of New York. ERI is very grateful to the caucus for organizing this listening tour, and it is a very critical opportunity to help shape fund priorities during a challenging fiscal season. As an organization that is committed to ending cycles of violence and homelessness by providing trauma-informed and client-centered support to the families in our care, URI understands firsthand how vital funding opportunities such as these are uplifting vulnerable populations. For over 40 years, URI has served as the largest provider of domestic violence services in the country and the leading provider of temporary housing for families experiencing homelessness, with 25 temporary housing sites in 4 of our 5 boroughs, and the capacity to provide shelter to more than 3,700 people on any given night. Through our Justice Initiatives Department, URI aims to support BIPOC adults and youth and achieve safety, economic stability, and housing security. We work with youth and communities to prevent violence. We provide job and career readiness alongside financial empowerment and advocacy to all of our participants and their families.
We engage in trauma-informed accountability programming people with caused harm. We provide legal advocacy and support to the families in our care. And URI was the first, and still one of only, and the largest provider of fully TET-inclusive transitional housing. In the wake of massive federal cuts to our essential social services, the people who we serve and many of our staff members are at greater risk of falling to poverty and violence. Targeted investment will help equip these families with the resources to those stable and independent lives that insulate them, in part, against the worst of cuts. One of the most urgent issues URI addresses is economic abuse, a legally recognized form of domestic violence that strips survivors of their financial independence and threatens their safety. They can take many forms, such as accruing debt in the survivor's name, restricting access to vital income and documents, stealing income, and sabotaging employment opportunities. Economic abuse is unfortunately nearly universal, as more than 99% of more than 99% of all survivors of domestic violence report that they have experienced some form of economic abuse, with the majority say that is among the primary reasons that they stay in or return to a dangerous situation. Approximately 73% of survivors report staying with a harmed party because they can't afford to leave. Survivors have routinely ranked financial support as the single most important need when considering how to leave an abusive relationship. At URI, we refuse to let financial exploitation prevent survivors from leading stable and independent lives. Through group and individual workshops which provide clients with resume writing, safety planning, credit reporting, budgeting, and other services. And with this, going to skip briefly to our ask. We are asking for approximately $300,000 for our economic empowerment program. Thank you.
Yes, stick work. Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Blair Gordon. I represent the First Stop Reentry.org, and it's a small nonprofit that helps out formerly incarcerated men and women. We provide care packages, referral services that are shelters, other housing, employment, training. But I'm not even asking anything. I have to listen to everything. You're seeing what's going on, how much we're winning, because I know the math is 62 counties. So if you divide my county, there's 1.4 million. 26 districts, if you divide this, that's 3 million, a little over 3 million. So we know that the most important thing that I keep hearing over and over is the children. School, daycare, foster care. But we get some of that right, we'll need less resources for these officers. It'll be less of us in prison, less involvement in criminal justice system, and everything else, domestic violence included. So I would just like to suggest that 80% of the 90 million go toward the children in some way, and then we'll work our way back around. But another suggestion would be to have more specific, because you're already five places that will decide where the winners want to go. But those 5 places, when I did my research, don't represent not even half of the districts or half of the counties. So that might be a way to make it more open so more people can take a shot at it, because going through the conduit sometimes, it comes a form of gatekeeping. Not saying that's what they do, but that could become that way because it's just human beings. You did with you and error. Well, I don't like this or I don't like that. So for the future, when we have another 90 million, is make it open and say, this is what you got to do. This is the criteria. So like I said again, I would not ask me anything today, is ask that the children get most of the resources.
I absolutely, as one of the gatekeepers you was talking about.
I think about that. So,
As an anti-racist, I would suggest that we're all gatekeepers. So, one of the things we say at Downpour we're very clear about is everyone's a gatekeeper in this system. The question is, how do you intend to be on the gate? Are you on the gate to keep people in, or are you on the gate to open it up? I would like to say that Elmcore is a 60-year-old, as the oldest Black founded nonprofit in Queens. And to the URI brother we spoke, always say that you were founded by Dr. Ben Prim, and that there's a Black organization, and my Black men started not one but two. START is still around, the largest methadone clinic in the United States. And URI, started by Black people, still here for 40 years, and Elmcore's been here for 60, holding the gate open. So I agree with you, and you are not wrong. There's a lot of issues, a lot of districts, a lot of whatever, and this is only $30 million. And that's just the reality of it. I would suggest tonight that we also think about the world from a place of abundance, that there's enough people in here because this $30 million isn't going to fix anything or do anything, but collectively we should be organizing. And if there's nothing that comes from these listening sessions, is that now what is this? For 7 times, Black and brown people showed up in the room, and I hope that that actually meant that a lot of people were speaking after each and every listening session, because they do work for us, but we have to work. So I just wanted to say that I absolutely respect what you said. Oh, which question? So there's 2 questions online I'm going to tackle. The acceptable massacre back to Queens. And as a person who came from Queens, I can tell her it's gonna take her a long time to get back. No matter what time she's supposed to be somewhere, she ain't about to get there on time. So there was one question from WECO. Is 30 million going to be fully allotted within the fiscal year, or is it a multi-year fund? This is a single year fund. The task force has done an incredible job, and I do want you guys to give it up again for the chairwoman, Chantel Jackson, who happens to be from your district, and the rest of the task force for doing this. What we're going to do is help them and advocate again to make sure that they get it again and again and again. But right now it is not multi-year, but it's up to us to advocate for it to continue to do so. And it also means that when this funding does come out, we have to be 10 toes down on getting it right so that they can continue to advocate to get this money. That how will the funding, the allocations will be determined, will applications be reviewed and considered based on organization type? The real answer is we haven't received, the fiscal conduits have not received our contracts from the Department of State yet. And so to say that we know exactly how things will be done would be unfair, and it would not be a true transparent process right now. We are still working. I will say 3 of the fiscal conduits are reading next week Friday to try to hash out what would be the way that we'd like to do it. We would like to see some uniformity in what we do.
Hey, yeah. I know your deal, but I was these 2 go. All right. Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for securing such a huge pot of funding for our communities. So thank you, thank you. My name is Kathy Edward Bell, and I am the Director of Community Relations and Program Design at New York Cares. And for some of you are aware, but for those of you who don't know, we are a nonprofit that supports or mobilizes volunteers, about 34,000 last year, to support over 450 nonprofit schools, agencies across the 5 boroughs. I personally live in the Bronx, and I have volunteered through New York Cares in the Bronx. I actually did a cooking class with kids at BronxWorks a while ago. And so, we are very supportive of our community partners in action volunteer. And so New York Cares also supports civic engagement by mobilizing thousands of volunteers each year to address critical needs across all the city, empowering New Yorkers to take an active role in strengthening their communities. Our volunteers lead programs such as food packing, distribution, cook drives, tax prep, education programming, again, cooking with kids. Over the past year across your Bronx districts, your cares actually mobilized more than 1,500 volunteers, plus me, in service of 120,000 of your constituents. So amazing numbers just in the Bronx alone. And we do that work across the 5 boroughs as well. New York Cares has noticed a sharp increase in requests for weekly, year-round volunteer programming from community partners who need our help meeting gaps. And now more than ever, that civic engagement through volunteering is super important in filling those gaps.
We are really grateful for, again, you guys listening to us and organizations across all the boroughs to work hard to meet the needs of the Black community. We appreciate the chance to apply for the funding through the Black Task Force, and we are asking for 200,000 to support the work that we do. So thank you again, and of course, we're happy to engage in other partnerships. So feel free to tag me if you would like to have a conversation, or if you are a partner and you need to talk to me about programming. All right. Thank you. Yes.
Especially, where, where you located at the Bronx, or you multi chip?
A great question. So we work with multi-sites all over the city, but our main office where we do business is in the financial district.
He asking for $200,000.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, good evening, everyone. It's good to be here. Thank you guys for being the warriors that you are, and thank everybody else in the room for being the warriors that they are, just in different spaces, right? My name is Roddy Hector. I'm the executive director of the SUNY Bronx Education Opportunity Center and the president of the Association of Opportunity Programs Directors in the state of New York. The Bronx EOC, as it's called, we do a great job in allied health. If you go to a hospital, if you go to a center, if you go to urgent care, you're most likely going to be cared for by one of our allied health professionals. We want to take that and put it to what was the government for trades. We're going to take our experience that we've had in this field and do trades in partnership with Bronx Community College. We have a great concept of what we can do to build trade in the Bronx and really put us in the forefront. We've already started that program. Bronx Community College already has a car repair program, and that includes electric cars, and we're doing the electric charge over the years. So we already looking at really that space. We want to sort of really build off of that and include plumbing, electrical, and HVAC in one space, one exact space. It's going to be built out like a house. You could learn to do all the trades hands up. I'm a trade person by trade. I'm a carpenter. So it's like you learn when you really learn with your hands, you make a difference. One of the things we have not done really well in the Bronx for my 23 years in the Bronx is work together, right? Everybody have that at the sides. It does not work. A chain has to be strong. And so we're asking that we're able to build a strong link to ensure that jobs in trades are a priority for the Bronx. The Bronx, living in the Bronx, you could go anywhere. Connecticut is right here. Jersey is right here. Queens is right there. Brooklyn is not too far down the road. So we could certainly really move and shake in the Bronx. It's time for the Bronx to stand up and be strong and be heard. For too long, we've been silent. And I truly believe this. This is the time that we could, if we do this right and we launch that center, people are going to be looking to the Bronx to copy what we did here. So we are asking for the maximum, and that's a conversation that we usually have with our partners at Bronx Community College, but we really want to put this in the forefront and change the concept of what the Bronx is when it comes to trade. Right?
Well said. Thank you. Bronx EOC. That's Ronnie Hector. Go ahead, RJ.
How much you figuring is going to cost a program get out of Oshiville ground running? And because that what you're talking about, to trade, unless you have it already in place.
No, we don't have it already in place, but we have unique partners, so that can mitigate some of the costs in terms of the ask. We have Bronx Community College, and we do have SUNY as well. But it's going to take a lot of funding to build out that space. So I know,
what do you need? I'm asking.
Startup, you're talking. If we limit a startup, you talk about $1 million for the startup. Tell us about what? $1 million for the startup.
Okay. Thank you.
Look.
Really quick, I'm sorry, I got a lot of. So, do you do any work with BOCES as well?
No. Is they here? Yeah. CT. So this is a good time for you to also remind everyone that this is programming dollars and not capital dollars. So sometimes people will say, oh, we want to build a community center. That's great. We can't deal with this money, but we can help you with the programming dollars to if you already have a sensor in place. But thank you, Ronnie. I'm gonna go over here, then we'll come back to you. And just because I'm mindful of time, it's 7:07. And just in case other people want to get up to speak.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Sophia Lonsworth. I am the Toxics Policy Director, Clean and Healthy. We co-lead a statewide coalition called the Lead Free into New York Coalition, along with React for Brown Justice. Our coalition works toward, as the name suggests, ensuring that the children of New York are not lead poisoned. A lot of people are unaware that lead poisoning remains a prevalent issue in New York State, and this is because New York has the oldest housing stock in all of the country. And with many homes being inhabited by Black and Brown people, these homes were built prior to the federal ban on lead paint in 1978. So, as you may know, there is no safe level of lead in the body. New York State has the most children with elevated blood lead levels than any other states in the nation. And in addition to all the health problems that lead exposed people face, taxpayers bear over 200 million in related costs. And this includes costs for medical intervention, treatment of lead-related ADHD, parental work productivity loss for caring for an ill child, special education services, and potential lifetime earnings of the lead-poisoned child. And this is according to a study from Columbia University. So the Lead Free Kids Coalition is working toward ending lead poisoning by educating and empowering lead-affected communities to eliminate this issue. Lead poisoning is preventable if the right action is taken, and we are asking for support to ensure that we are in fact getting to a place where the children of New York State are no longer poisoned by lead. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Hello, good evening. First, thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Emanuela Venus Asiche. I whoop,
Yeah. Add the brothers to help you or bye.
thank you. So my name is Emanuela Venus Asiche. I am representing the Cannabis Workforce and Business Development Program at the Borough Manhattan Community College. We were grant funded by state funds for a 3-year program in partnership with Lehman College. And I'm here to talk about, of course, the ask. I inspired by the gentleman to ask for the maximum, but I do have a figure that I will present after talking about some key things that we have accomplished. So we, like I said, we were offered a $2 million grant in partnership with Lincoln College. We have been serving just as impacted equity applicants and communities most targeted by cannabis prohibition. We offer no-cost training in cannabis security solutions, cannabis retail management, and next year has been processing. We just had a career summit where we had 150 people come in, 12 employers, and it was a really good opportunity for Kitimun and in general, since post-COVID enrollment has been very difficult. So there is no industry that cannabis doesn't touch. We have reached $1.2 billion in revenue in cannabis, and as we see as it being a shaky industry, there's going to be needs for picks and shovels that we provide the picks and shovels. In addition to that, we've seen many of our students go across the economic mobility, going from making $55K a year to $100,000 a year, working in dispensaries.
Paul, see.
Interest type. We have successfully helped licensees open up operations. In addition to that, we are continuing to provide no-cost training services for employers who desperately need it. In addition to that, the last stretch of the grant is to provide for-cost training in areas of need. So we're moving to HR and compliance, paralegal services, and a long list of other things. So the ask is for $500,000 for the year to extend the program. That would go to continuing the free services for the staff, and also to leverage our instructors for the new courses that we have pulling out. And if you'd like to know more, I will gladly give you my information and connect you to our director.
You found it.
Yes.
and we will talk. I have Ken's background. I worked in the industry, but one thing we need to do is make sure that the office of Ken's management is supposed to be social equity fine.
I actually was just talking to the chief equity officer. I came from the Rubbly event, and that's why I'm.
How do I get it? But we need on my end, team, we're joint leader for Scoop Stokes in the Black Task Force. We are going to put a focus to make sure that they're putting money back in the community for program like this also. So I'm just letting you know, I'm an advocate in that round, and that's also another thing we're going to be dealing with justice.
All right. Thank you so much.
Good evening. My name is Claude Joseph. I am the founder of a small organization called New Youth Leaders. I would like to first say thank you for strongly advocating on behalf of our communities. So kudos to you. And for the conduit, congratulations to you for securing this money as well. And I know that you're going to be really equitable in the way you distribute it. The second thing I'd like to say is New Youth Leaders is a small organization that runs primarily youth-based programming. We believe that if we have kids who are curious, we can give them a pathway to a career. On that note, I would say that there's 117 nonprofits in New York. 55% of us are small nonprofits. 17 to 20% have no revenue source that they work from. So we're doing all the work from our pockets. I would like to know, how are you considering these small nonprofits? How will you distribute monies to them? I heard at the beginning of the conversation that this is reimbursement based, and you know that that will be a challenge. The fund for the city of New York and organizations like that will provide the funding source. So is there any kind of conversations with that type of organizations who will help with a loan based on the awards that you have been given? The second thing I'd like to talk about is in order to show the use of this money, we need to talk about evaluation and impact. What would that look like? How would that be built in? What about the social media component of this to show how the money has been spent? Is there going to be any written in to the proposal or the application of how we're going to promote this long term? The last one I would say is around partnerships. We have a lot of people in this room, and someone mentioned working in silos. We often do that. So how is this proposal going to task the people in this room to collaborate? Because we know collectively we have power. So if we can partner with other people in the room, that will be helpful. Thank you.
Well said. I'm going to pass the mic to Saida, but I just want to say that in the beginning, this is why I asked everyone to stop talking to people that they know and talk to others, because it's important to network within the network. But we're going to set aside time also at the end for you guys to exchange business cards and of the like. We know how hard it is to have the money available and then be reimbursed. We are talking with our leadership to make sure that we can at least get 25% upfront for the fiscal conduits to get this work started. We are definitely going to be looking through your paperwork that's actually necessary in order to get this funding. So your CHAR 500 and the 990. Yeah, I'm learning the lingo. Look how they shaking their head like, yeah, we're going to be looking at that. So you can't hold $1 million. We're not going to give you $1 million. All right. Those things are going to matter. Also, we want to set aside at least $250,000 from each of our fiscal conduits so that we can grant money to smaller nonprofits, right? So when say you needed just $10,000 or $20,000 to get through an event or a program or whatever it is that you're doing, we want to make sure that we had that grant funding available as well. So nothing is set in stone, but it is definitely on our minds and in our conversations with leadership and for the rollout. Am I missing anything?
No, I would say that's about accurate. I think just to reiterate again, we haven't received a contract, right? And so until we have an idea of the regulations and all the contraction things that we're going to be, compelled to, we can't even begin to understand what structure it is. All I can guarantee you is that we're working on it. As far as your question too about loans to be able to do it, because I agree with you, obviously reimbursements are not easy. But For us as the fiscal conduits who have these very large contracts that are going to come, some of us are in conversations about us receiving loans that would allow us the ability to do some advances along the way, but that means that we have to do it because we the one with the master contract. The last thing I have to say to you though is small nonprofit for you should not last more. You know all the things, get the thing done.
Amen. I don't know where we are. I know you got.
Honestly, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to speak here at Cold Space for us. I am Tabitha Gonzalez, the Director of Policy and Advocacy for Destination Tomorrow. I'm bringing greetings and speaking on behalf of Sean Coleman, the CEO and founder of Destination Tomorrow. Okay. Destination Tomorrow is located at 452 East 149th Street, right here in the Bronx. Destination Tomorrow is home of the nation's first ever standalone transitional housing program for transgender New Yorkers. Founded and led by Black and Brown individuals, we were built to meet the needs of the populations that we serve. As you continue the conversation about allocation of funding, it is vital that the voices of the people that we serve are centered in this conversation. We believe that Destination Tomorrow can be a partner and a resource to help implement across the state, to help this funding implemented across the state, and we look forward to staying engaged with the caucus. Thank you.
Thank her. And thank you for the great work that you guys do. I think this is a good time for me to say that each member does get discretionary funding and they get capital dollars. So this $30 million is for the across the state of New York. RJ looked at me like, yes, all members get discretionary funding. And I was able to give Destination Tomorrow some funding this year. So you should also be looking at your state representatives and your congressional representatives and your city council because they all have money, and and your borough president for capital dollars. But also look at those pathways of funding as well. For RJ went to say something, and then
What's your ask? What are you asking for? When I say you, the organization that you with, what's
Great question. That I would be remiss if I didn't say that I am a new policy director at Destination Tomorrow. I would like to ask for as much as anyone knows what to ask, right? We also know that trans and queer individuals live at the intersections of many of these margins. Our organization already meet those needs. So to give you a number amount, that would be something best left for our audition.
you should find out and then get it into us so that we know what you seek.
Definitely. Noted. Thank you, Salsa Ice.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Flash. My name is Neander, and I'm not here to represent any organization, nor am I here to ask for any money. What I'm here to do is ask for what this tour is about. I want you guys to listen, consider, the act upon what's being said. So, for instance, I'm justice impacted. I just did 18 years. I've been home for 4 months now, and there are 33,072 prisoners locked up in New York State Correctional System right now. And we are the for kind 33,000. And a lot of us, yes, we've committed crimes. And, we did what we did to be incarcerated. But there are a lot of us who did not commit crimes. And there are a lot of us who are doing beneficial things, conductive things to enhance their living inside as well as coming out here. So, nonetheless, we are forgotten. The 33,000 is forgotten. We were forgotten through COVID. We were forgotten when this illegal strike happened a couple months ago. There wasn't any politician that came in and kicked down the door and asked about our well-being. And that was painful. But needless to say, some of these 33,000 people are coming home, and they're coming home with anger, and they're coming home with no guidance, and they're coming home frustrated. So I'm asking respectfully, this $30 million that you guys have, consider using it constructively for individuals who are coming home from New York State Department of Correction. Thank you.
well said. Thank you. Let me try to grab this mic for me. Let me try to grab the mic. And I just want to say, I love of Friends of Rikers, or now called Youth Justice Network, but I know it feels like people are forgotten, but the truth is we on the stage, we sit in the trenches. My brother just went upstate and was on Rikers, and I was the one that was going to do the visits and making sure that people were civically engaged and make sure people get books and those things. So we do the visits. We may not promote it all the time, but we in the trenches. So I know it may feel forgotten, but the people sit on the stage and the Black Task Force, we personally have created days where we go in groups to go visit our prison system. So we may not promote those things, we may not say it all the time, but trust me, we're out there and we're answering those calls. And people say, my cousin, this happened to my cousin, or this is going on my birthday. So it is going down. If you want to be connected to us, so you know what's happening, I would give you my contact information and make sure we stay connected. But I appreciate you, my brother.
I just want to add too. We have a brother by the name of Eddie Gibbs, who was incarcerated. And when I tell you that man slept in those rooms, and I owe him some. I've been doing more focus on the OC past the juvenile. We have our brother initiative though, me and Jamal, and we're working on the younger kids to a degree. But we did pass a package, an incarceration package. And we have Noah who just came, and Noah also did a bunch of tours with Eddie going to visiting incarcerated brothers. But we got to do more. And we're the first person to tell you that, but we did work on it. And I guarantee you the Black Task Force will continue that.
We got that our, I think about to pass this thing. And then my district leader is here, definitely.
Hi, good evening. My name is Anna. I'm the Deputy Director of Programming at Churches United for Fair Housing. We're not a church, but we work and fight towards housing opportunities for all New Yorkers. And so I have a few questions actually. And it's more to do maybe more like with the back end stuff. But first, what are some ongoing partnership opportunities for fellow grantees, like whatever organization gets granted the funds? Like, are there any ongoing partnership opportunities or events for, people to gather together and network with each other? Okay.
So, to your question, I would say we are definitely going to be looking to do those types of things. We are building this, and I just want you to know, I did mention before I'm anti-racist, which just means I'm an organizer. So the reason why I always say you guys talk to each other is I intend personally, Alcor's got a very large gym, which means a lot of space for us to do a lot of building before funding, during funding, after funding.
I think
That's real. But
all right. Next question is like, for the application, funding application, whenever it comes out, are there subcategories for the types of programming to be funded? Like, for example, with like we're in housing, so with housing, are there subcategories there, or how would that work? Is that clear yet, or not really? Same answer as before. Okay. Do you have any standards for application approval, like for us to have an idea on, or no?
same answer as before.
Okay. I had to write my questions. These are great questions. Yeah, I had to write them down so I don't forget. I think it might be the same answer, but I'm just gonna ask it. What does reporting or deliverables entail? As a having. All right.
We're here to listen to you guys. It's smooth with it. So, okay, happen. We ain't got.
But these are great questions, dude. Once you can really answer for. I just want to answer to your first question about and we are very careful as state government. We cannot condition anything on anything you do. I would love for everybody to get together and have a conversation. I want to be very clear on and off the right. I cannot make you talk to anybody because I give you and allocate $1 to. That's not within the purview of state government, city government, federal. We can't condition your conversations or alliances once we do this. I just want to be very clear for the official record on behalf of the task force and everybody. We got that is not what we do.
Thank you for clarifying that. So I think that's all my questions.
Greetings, panel. What I want to say is our historical figures and ancestors should never take a back seat
in regards to the present or the future. My name is Yusef Thomas. I'm the founder of We Are Here Corp. Being a retired police lieutenant, my aim is to convert unproductive youth and young adults to productive members of society through the inculcation of history, our historical figures and ancestors. What they're going to do is they're going to do reenactments, they're going to do presentations and skits on sacred grounds all over the state. We have to get back to different forms of learning. We know there's different forms of learning, right? So that's what I want to do. I'm going to give them awards for their contributions, and I'm looking for the panel to be open-minded and not just a cookie-cutter way things has been done. We need visionary people, and action. We need to get back to action, and hopefully this moves you to be open-minded to visionary new nonprofits. Thank you.
Hey, good evening to the task force and to our task force leader, Assembly Member Chantel Jackson, my Assembly member. The four legislatures know me as a district leader, so they know I don't tell bell tower stories. But I'm here in a different capacity. I'm the newly appointed Vice State Commander for NABETS. That stands for National Association of Black Veterans. And we're requesting $25,000 for our peer-to-peer program, which covers veteran services such as housing, food and security, job training and placement, and above all, mental health treatment. In this city, the majority of homeless vets are Black men that are Vietnam veterans, and that is a travesty for what they've done to this country. I'll end with the shameless plug. On September 30th from 11 to 1 at Lou Gehrig Plaza, Assemblymember Landon Diaz, along with several veteran organizations, will have an End Veterans Poverty Now ballot. That should convince you that the NABETS need $25,000 to continue our peer-to-peer program. With that, I digress.
Okay, Veteran of the Year. That you forgot to mention that you were a New York State Senate Veterans Veteran of the Year, Jima. Well, we'll talk about that. All the work that you do, brother.
You know, I picked the right time to pop my collars, and
Well, I'm a pop it for you because we got actually it's also we gotta celebrate each other and celebrate our accomplishments. So that brother right there was one of the Veterans of the Year, the New York State Senate. So that should be gold.
One more time.
September 30th from 11 to 1 at Lou Gehrig Plaza, and we're NABETS are requesting $25 much-needed $1,000.
As you know, sir, my followers have met the work you do for all of our vets. Chantel and I will make sure we support you. I will support you also on that out of my discretionary because of my commitment to veterans. Like I said, my followers have that. So you have my word on that.
Thank you.
I've been showing my beloved. I'll give you the 25,000. You hear my staff? Anybody here from staff? Oh, hey, I ain't got it. You'll get the 25,000 for my discretionary next year. Hopefully, we got it. Let me put the asterisk because there's a lot of federal cuts happening. But if I got any discretionary, 25,000 comes out of my pocket.
So I'm just really sure I have the calculation correct. It's 25% this year, 25 except next year. Oh, so as a collective. So that's right there. So we're looking for 50,000.
You got 50?
He said 25. Sounds like the ocean near 25.
I know we're joking, but it's a big deal. Veterans, they served our country. They make sure that we stay protected. We have this civil liberties just to sit here and joke around. So you have my 25,000 if I got 25,000 if he gets it. X. Thank you. So there's no more comments, questions, suggestions, because then I'm going to go ahead, my brother. Come on now. You did.
I was told in that time.
Tell my stops you done and all the things.
Sorry, so this is my 5th stop listening tour because it's important for all of us to get together and not only for appreciate the fact that they're doing this because no other task force is having this tour. No other task force that has $30 million to get to community input is offering people an ear, right? So give them a round of applause. Second,
make sure you make friends. So I have made countless partnerships because of these 5 stores done Long Island and Brooklyn and Queens. Like, just if you see someone that's talking about something that just makes you say, hey, I'm on a talking person, don't be shy. There's not that much time. We don't have a luxury of time. All right. So be friendly. As is can say, we work in silos way too much. As a community, we obviously work better in unity. There's a lot of powers that be, a lot of talking heads that are asking us to be divided and be divisive. That is not engendered to what we need in the future. My name is Minister Peace. I am the Executive Director of Community for a Cause. We are for branching collaboration, coalition building, advocacy, and outreach. We take care to a number of different vulnerable populations in New York, from homelessness, child blood poisoning, Lesbian NYC, I see you. We act, I see you. Thank you for being here. We also tackle sexual violence prevention. We do work with the veterans every Thanksgiving, providing the Thanksgiving only shelter for veterans at some Long Island City Warden Avenue Veteran Shelter. And I want to make the point, because it was said this Monday, and know a lot of things happen this week, is in fall. Be sure to check into your mental health, take a breath, and rest as you can. But this Monday, our president did say that a little fight between a wife and a husband is no big deal, section. And the Bronx does have one of the highest rates of domestic violence, and it's not something that is not a big deal. We also have an issue of sexual violence that has been exploded for the last 5 years in the Bronx as well, which we have considered as a problem, being that less than 2% of those who report sexual assault see their perpetrator seek any good time of jail. That being said, I want to ask the task force again, as a Kirby asking all the doors, to make sure you prioritize both types of survivors. All types of survivors. The brother before made the point about children, 80% going to children. I believe that, as you heard me say before, Fred Shirley said, it's easier to build strong children than to fix broken men. That stands a lot of the problem. The cutoff here, 60-yard, wherever that. Also, make sure you devote some of that money and some of the energy towards survivors, because beyond hurdle, they don't have a lot of advocates. They don't have a lot of strong voices. They're not often believed. They're often people in the highest issues of power say their pain is no big deal. So that's just my plea for you. That's not asked monetarily. But what I do want to ask Saida is a question about how best can we ask for money? Because while we are all going to flood your gaze and United Way or with requests, I'm sure there's a preferred format that you would like us to actually request. And how can we go about that so we can be more knowledgeable and make sure that we do have a polished approach for you?
So that's a great question. And I hate to say it. We're building this as we go along, so it would not be fair for me to say one of the things that we're trying to work with. Senator Bailey said it, I think, perfectly. He said there's things we can't make it do. There are things as the conduits that we're trying to make each other do, right? And so we're trying to get to that point because we're all individual organizations, and the risk is on the organization, quite honest, right? And so we're trying to at least get to the point where a group of us, if not all of us, are trying to get in so that it's easier for you. I just want to say, if I could say this to you guys as a nonprofit leader, if these listening sessions has done nothing for you, it does actually help with that skill set of how to make it ask. As Assemblywoman Jackson has said, this is like a pitch. You guys are training some chops in these moments. I hope you're listening to each other and you're listening to how people are writing things, listening to how people are pitching things, because quite honestly, government is not going to be the funding enough. You're going to have to pitch the foundations, you're going to have to pitch the corporations, you're going to have to pitch the individual givers, all of the things. And so the capacity building component of this funding, I think, will be critical. And those of us who know how to help other people get there need to do that. I know that's not the answer about how the application should be written, but the skill development is what's happening right now.
We'll say it sounds like you're offering information by saying capacity building is a good focus. Would you agree on that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for supporting despite you going to a high school that cheats in football. We do appreciate.
Still not over it.
It's not over it. But you represent Long Island, I do want to shout out our colleague Noah, who just got here. So no, he just came from Long Island, so we gotta show him some love. Oh, please.
Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that. My name is Noah Burrows. I'm from the Assembly District 18 in Long Island, as Landon just stated. The listening tour is exactly what Saidi just said. It's an opportunity for you to give us some ideas, as well as we'll give ideas as far as how process could be rolled out. We think streamlining this to be something that's smooth and fair and equitable for as many people as we possibly can in our community is something that's very important. And we all roll ideas off one another. For our chair, Samira Woman Jackson, I call her often to butter her, but to give her ITs as well. So the things that I hear, the ideas are great. So I like to roll them off the members to see how we can help you out as much as possible. So I will, I like to tour around and see what some of the ideas are, so I can have ideas as well as we could grow them back. But it's a great process so far, and hopefully it'll be something that'll benefit the entire state.
And the tour started in Long Island, so now here we are in the Bronx. I think it's a good time for you to say, Gene left, so Daniel, make sure you tell him this. I am committed to the $25,000, but you got to have your paperwork in order. I cannot give money to nonprofits that don't exist. So you have to have your 501c3. You had to have your char 500. You had to have your 990. All of those things are required in order to get funding from the state and the city and the federal government when it comes to nonprofits. So if you don't have those things in order, then I would suggest that you reach out to one of our fiscal conduits, Arva Rice at New York Urban League, because they help with those things, okay? And we do want this funding to be put towards capacity building and helping people get up to date. But it's required that you guys start doing that work now. My office did a webinar on how to get funding, and I'm sure my colleagues do the same thing. So I would ask that you stay connected and knowing what we have going on. Make sure you're on our newsletters, that you're receiving those updates, and that you're following us on social media so that you know what's coming up. So I just want to make sure you put that asterisk. So Daniel, you're responsible for telling Jean, make sure the paperwork is in order. Okay. Go ahead, my sister. These are our last two, and then we're going to do networking.
Thank you all. So my name is Anil Ansari, and I would like to start this book by saying I would deem and strongly believe that after school is a child's right? I'm a program manager for the Comprehensive Program Support Team at Expand Ed Schools, formerly known as TASK. And Expand Ed has been servicing and supporting the youth development sector in New York City for over 25 years. From after-school program support and career-correcting learning to high-impact tutoring and future-ready program. So today I want to talk to you about our amazing middle school literacy initiative called Lit Crew, spearheaded by my amazing program director, Tiffany Paris in the back. So Lit Crew is our project-based learning literacy initiative where students read books, grasp literacy skills such as fluency, comprehension, critical thinking skills, and mastering vocabulary, while simultaneously learning skills in areas of digital media, performing arts, visual arts, and journalism. So investing in Lit Crew would allow us to continue to expand in more schools. Currently, we have 20 sites across four boroughs, predominantly in Bronx and Brooklyn. And once Lit Crew programming starts again this year in about a week, we will be supporting over 1,000 students. And I'm looking to push into hopefully Staten Island next year with funding, right? So as we continue to expand our literacy initiative, we will also be launching a pilot program for 3 elementary schools this year, with hopes to continue to expand with hopes to continue to expand additional schools next year as well. So what we are asking for, since I've been heard by saying Mr. Aspman, we would hope for anywhere between $750 and $1 billion. This would mean an increase of additional 10 Lit Crew sites, which is the middle school initiative, which would support additional potentially is for additional 600 middle school students across the 5 boroughs. This will also help support additional 10 elementary school sites and will also help support the extensive training that we offer in additional curriculum development. We create all this from scratch at Expand Ed. Our goal is, of course, is to help children unlock the joy of reading. Believing can open up a world of possibilities of learning for your minds. And we just really hope that when we submit this application, get this money, because we really know that, especially in our communities, how important the understanding of fluency, literacy, not just reading, but comprehension is really important. Thank you. Well said. Say it one more time. Expand Ed School. It's formerly known as TASK. Okay, it's expand space. And well said. Thank you. And last but certainly not least, come on, my sister. How about
Okay, thank you. I'm Audrey Duncan, Director of Community Affairs at BronxNet. We have media studios. In the South Bronx near the Hub, at Mercy College in the East Bronx, and right here at Lehman College. BronxNet is the community media center serving the Bronx for over 30 years. We provide your broadcast educational content on a wide range of topics from health to economic development to housing to voter literacy. And it's all to empower our viewers to be more civically engaged. At the heart of our work is a strong workforce development program. We have a track record of providing the technological, creative, and journalistic training that's resulted in participants obtaining a wide range of high-level jobs as producers, editors, reporters, anchors, and digital leaders in competitive media industry. Many of our workforce development participants can be found at media outlets like CBS, ESPN, BET, Univision, and many, many, many more. The workforce development participants worked alongside our professionals to produce the shows, which many of you have, prepare on a regular basis. We're seeking support to expand the program so that our young people can continue to become media leaders and help make sure that media has a positive impact on our communities. We want to have more people in the media industry who come from right here in the Bronx and from, our urban neighborhoods so that the media can really have a positive influence. I think I'll estimate that we would be requesting probably between 300 and 500,000, but we'll know for sure when we do the application. Thank you for this opportunity.
Well, thank you. And thank you for the work that you all did. We are at 7:43. Now, we're not done. What I'm going to have happen now is allow my colleagues to give their closing remarks, tell you all who they are and how you can be in contact with them if you need to be. And then I'm going to just share a few other remarks. So we'll start all the way down with Senator Jamal Bey.
So first, let me thank you. I'll call her two chairs. This is two chairs. She's not just the chair, is the chair of the legislative task force. She's also the chair of the Legislative Women's Caucus. So Chantel Jackson is doing incredible things, like on behalf of women and people of color and black folks. So she's really doing a lot of great things. I think I want to line my comments, my final comments with the brother right there. Like, take care of yourselves. Like this isn't a political thing. Just take care of yourselves. There's something that they used to call Southern hospitality. Do me a favor. When you see somebody random, just say hello. Start greeting your brothers and your sisters in the community. It doesn't cost you a dollar. Doesn't cost you a dime. Just, I don't want you to feel like, decent man, you love the city, but you don't know why you love the city. I want you to love the city. Shout out to the I like that. That song, I like that song. I don't know why, but I like the song. But it's in all seriousness, in order for us to continue to get apples silos, as was said, just say good morning. So, good evening to everybody. I hope that you're blessed on your travels home. And I hope that you get a chance over the weekend to call somebody you haven't spoken to in a while, just show them you love them, just because. I want us to get closer as a society. And if you need to reach out to me on a more serious note, the Northeast Bronx and the city of Mount Vernon, I'm happy to represent you, or proud to represent you. It's Senator Jay Bailey at nysenate.gov. 718-547-8854 is our phone number to reach out to us. If you have a nonprofit that is based or does work in the Northeast Bronx or the city of Mount Vernon, I'd like to hear from you about the work that you're doing, and we can figure out how we can also look at trying to help you out going forward. And we can't make a specific promise and anything like that in this moment. Just put it out there. Please reach out. Be happy to have the conversation. I'll be around for a little bit. I'm talking a little bit too much. 2 cheers. My fault. So I just want to say, great night. Thank you very much. God bless.
Well, Chris, thank you all for coming in and putting forward on behalf of your group, your organization, or for yourself with respect to being involved in the process in order to increase the number of people that we represent, just like us. So I'm looking at all of you, and you're looking at all of us, and say it loud. Black, I'm proud.
Again, my name's Landon Day, Assembly Member to 77th. 10L. Well, Dan is my guy. In my fraternity, we have our motto, culture for service and search for humanity. And I do live by that because it's the bar of who I am. And I think everyone who's on this, who's standing here in front of you, I can tell you, I've worked with them personally, they truly do believe that. From Jamal, who is their Bronx chairman of the Democratic Party, where me and Senator Jackson share part of districts together, Cedric Houses on RPT 1520 and 1600. Chantel's right next to my district, and Noah and I get into debates. But one thing we all know, we care deeply about our community. And so what we want to make sure is that this is capacity building that can move our community forward. There's a lot of threats. The enemies are at the gates, and we're doing everything we can to stick our leg in the ground, hold that door, that gate, as Ms. Rita said.
Look, I am, again, Assemblyman for North Bronx in the 18th Assembly District. I probably want to reiterate what everyone has said. I think one of the reasons why we're doing this is that we all care. As Landon said, a debate is good. A healthy debate is good. You don't have to turn a debate into something more than what it should be, which is just conversation. And so, one of the things that he one of his strong fights that he's talking about in the assembly on a regular basis is the census, and what's very important with the census. And, a few weeks ago, I said, well, I need to give Landon a call. It looks like we won't have that issue anymore with the proposing to do, but I'm in full supportive and making sure that the census is made whole, especially in the state of New York, so that we don't lose congressional or another seats. We need this, as many seats as we had, plus more. So I would like to just reiterate what they said and stay focused, stay fine-tuned with the understanding that we have to keep fighting it. And I grew up with a dad who was in civil rights, and my entire life has always been, find the right fight to fight, and fight it as much as you can, as hard as you can. And that's why we are here, because one, I want to fight, and two, I love my community.
Once again, Saida Dunstan, CEO of Elcor. I said it in between. I normally say at the beginning, I apologize to you guys. I lead the oldest Black-founded, Black-led, Black-sustained nonprofit in Queens, 60 years. And I apologize that I lead that way because the hope is that other nonprofits that has leadership that looks like us, especially those of you guys who just founded one 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, is to believe that we can do something that can last long. We tell people that we were founded by community members that include the Black Panthers. We say it out loud. I see Bragg, it didn't count to the mic, but one of the greatest things that we could do too as a collective, as a community, is to recognize, as I'm in the Bronx, I have to say it, I'm sorry, the power that the Black Panthers and the Young Lords did when they took over Lincoln Hospital to get the work done for people who need drug treatment. We are a powerful group of people, and there's some stuff happening that right now is confusing. Do not allow this money to have you all think that this is the Hunger Games. This is $30 billion. This is not the mark. Do not allow anybody to have you think that this $30 million will create the Hunger Games. This is money, but we are the resource. They've always known that. They built an entire country knowing that we were the commodity. So do not forget that the abundance is in the room and is not in the cash. But poverty doesn't solve poverty. So we go keep asking for money, keep going for money. And so when your electeds ask you to come to Albany to advocate not on just behalf of you, but on the hundreds of thousands of millions of Black folks in this state, whether they act, whether they say they Black, whether they know they Black, we do. And some show up and show out. I bring greetings on behalf of myself, Arthur Rice from the Urban League, and Jennifer Charles Austin from WA. I just want you to know they are Korea, but FFWP, my apologies. There's 3 of us who are definitely working hard together to make this not just about the money, but to make this about our people.
Well said. Well said. So I'm two chairs. I am Assembly Member Chantel Jackson, Chair of the New York State Black Task Force, Chair of the Legislative Women's Caucus. I kind of like that. I'm gonna have to run with that one. I want to say thank you all for taking the time out to be here with me tonight. I spent a lot of time caring about my district and my people, as you so heard. Do not leave here without taking one of these flyers that my team put together. Some of the things we have coming up for this month. We have a stroll for life in the district, or Atlantis district. He let me borrow his park for that. We also have, what else we got going on? We have our advisory board. So I do need members who are who care about the 7th Assembly District to be a part of my advisory board. I pretty much come to you all and say, hey, there's a bill to ban cell phones in schools. Should we do it? Should we not? That's pretty much what the advisory board does, and it helped me figure out hotspots in the district. I also have to say again, I need you guys to follow us on our social media platforms, because that's how you stay up to date and know what's going on. When people tell you, oh, the elected officials ain't doing shit, because I know that's what y'all say, or other people say, you can point them to my Instagram, and I can point you to everyone else's. But the truth is, we're out here doing the work, and I would love for you all to continue to share that message with the people outside. Our social media handle is NYSBL Task Force. That QR code up there is to give us your feedback if you didn't get a chance to step to the mic or you're too shy to do so. All of this is put together by many people here, but I have to give it up to my executive director, Josiah Williams, who puts up with us, who tolerates us and was called to do this work. I would say thank you. Please talk to someone you have not gotten a chance to talk to tonight. Thank you all. Lehman College, we would not be here if it wasn't for you. So thank you to the staff. Thank you for everyone running mics, cameras, action, everybody. Thank you all for being here.